Hi. I'd like to do some movie reviews here for you, but I'm not going to do just one movie, and I'm not going to do something necessarily that's new, like The Great Gatsby, or a few months ago, Django Unchained, or the Lincoln movie. I want to do movies that I've seen on television in about the last week. So it's going to be kind of like a bundle review. I don't want to concentrate on one film. There's going to be a few films that I want to talk about. This has been done for the last few days. I've watched whatever's on, whatever looks the best. Movies I've seen before, movies I haven't seen before. Movies I should have seen a long time ago, like Basic Instinct. But we'll talk about that later. Okay. First film I'd like to talk about would be Changing Lanes. It's directed by Roger Mitchell, starring Ben Affleck and Samuel Jackson. Of course, a pissed Samuel Jackson. What other movie should he be in other than a pissed Samuel Jackson? And let's see. This movie was pretty good. It was like one of those message movies. A movie with a message to the audience, make you think about your everyday life a little better. Do you really need to get in these needless conflicts? Because that's what that movie is all about. It's about escalation. It's about Ben Affleck and Samuel Jackson getting into conflicts together, and it keeps rising. The conflict keeps increasing, where they just start screwing with each other's life. Samuel Jackson does something to Ben Affleck that might kill him. Ben Affleck messes with Samuel Jackson's family. It ruins his possibility of reuniting with his wife and being with his kids. So it was good that way. The ending. Oh, and by the way, I am giving spoilers to all these movies. If you don't like spoilers, don't watch it, because I don't want to speak in generalities. Like, you just wait till the end. No. I'm just going to talk about the movie. I don't want to censor myself. The ending was like one of those miracle endings. Like, I think it would have made the message of the movie stronger if everybody would have been screwed at the end. But then suddenly Ben Affleck has this epiphany about, oh yeah, I've been doing the wrong thing all these years. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to say this to my boss and my wife's father, and he listened to me, even though the character probably shouldn't have listened to him. And I'm going to make everything right with Samuel Jackson and his family. And I'm going to talk to his wife. And then suddenly she's cool with everything. Sometimes those miracle endings are just like, everything's going wrong. Let's have a good ending. So they just, miracle pitch. And then it's good. Didn't like that part of the movie. Acting was pretty good. Amanda Peet was in it. It's cool to see her. She's not necessarily in a ton of movies. She was good as basically just like trophy wife for Ben Affleck or something to that effect. So that's the first movie. Pretty good, not the worst film I saw in the last couple weeks. Not the best. Basic Instinct again. That comes later. That movie blew my mind. Next, Layer Cake. Loads of potential. There's something about Layer Cake where it feels like if it was a little different, it would be amazing. But it just ended up being a good film, but primarily confusing. I really felt like you had to really concentrate what was going on, and then you went, wait a minute, was it that guy's head in the box, or this other guy's head in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? God damn it, motherfucker, what's in the box? Give it space to it. Anyway, that's a different movie. It had the James Bond guy. What's his name? I wrote that down, right? Daniel Craig. It had Daniel Craig. Good job. The director is Matthew Vaughn. He directed Kick-Ass, which is a kick-ass film. X-Men First Class, He produced Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Smoking Barrels, and it completely shows. I was even watching the movie with my wife, and she goes, it's like Snatch without as much of a sense of humor. Totally Snatch is better though. Less confusing. But that could be me. Maybe I wasn't in the right frame of mind. Maybe the movie isn't confusing at all, and I was going down and upstairs. You know how TV is. Sometimes your breaks are longer than the commercial. So maybe it was me. Good soundtrack selections. The twists and turns were pretty good. Bane. Tom Brody. So one of his, Tom Brody, right? Tom Hardy. Am I going to edit that out? I don't know. I'm not perfect, so maybe I'll just keep that in. Tom Hardy, Bane, was in this. So that was really cool to see him before he's become popular, like with the third Batman installment. He's like 5 lines. You know those lines like, yeah, don't forget to get the boss cream. He likes cream with his coffee. Oh yeah, I'll pick her up for you. You know, that shit. So he doesn't have a substantial role, but it's still kind of cool to see him in something. The Cult, Sanctuary? That song, for whatever reason, when it played when Daniel Craig was driving in his car, I really like that song in there. I don't know if it's as strong as like a Quentin Tarantino soundtrack, but I was digging the music in that. Some of the music I didn't dig in movies that I watched this last week would be Jersey Girl. That's coming later. He'd selected the same song several times, and it was like, this song doesn't even really fit. We'll get into Kevin Smith a little later. Okay, Parenthood. This is a blast of the past movie, and this was one of the cool things watching these movies, that because they're going to play what they're going to play, it's a fixed selection. You get to choose from the fixed selection, and there was movies I probably wouldn't have seen on my own fruition that were pretty good. Old movies like Parenthood with Steve Martin and Rick Moranis. It was also directed by Ron Howard. So I did not know that he directed that movie. It's got Keanu Reeves, like a small little role. I think that was before he was famous too, and it's kind of like the Tom Hardy thing. It's cool to see him in a smaller role before they become big. Diane Wiest, who is very good, and she plays... Damn, I'll make that reference later. Maybe another thing to edit out, or maybe not. Yeah, it was a good movie. You know, the message was like, you know, you have families and you have difficulty sorting it out, and you have kids, and each kid comes with its own problems, and each parent has a different parenting style. Rick Moranis plays this like A-type, intellectual, high-strung guy. It was kind of funny. Some of the weaker parts of the film, though, is like singing to his wife to get her back. It's also like one of those miracle endings, like Changing Lanes. Like, all Rick Moranis has to do is sing this shitty song, and his wife is like, oh, all these problems you ever had, hey, it's over because you sang a song like that jackass from Scream 2 that sings in the college cafeteria, and suddenly everyone's like, yeah, they're made to be together. That's weak shit. That's one of the worst movie cliches, when the guy's like singing, and his crappy singing gets the woman to be like, oh, we really should be together, huh? I didn't realize it until you did a really shitty selection of a mediocre song. That's really cool. Let's spend our lives together. That was pretty bad, but some of the gags were good. Steve Martin is, you know, quintessential 1980s comedy actor. It was good for that. Let's see. Let's try to move this down. Looper. Maybe the newest film that I saw. And this was from Starz. You know, not all the films are going to be new. Probably the newest, because that came out, in the last couple years or so. Directed by Rian Johnson, stars Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. This was really good. If you watch the trailers and stuff, I don't know if it necessarily does the story justice. It's really about whether he should save the life of or kill this boy that has this tremendous power that's going to become a danger to the world in the future. His future self that comes back in time wants to kill this kid because he understands the ramifications of keeping this kid alive. But he, not knowing this future, realizes this is the life of a kid. Killing him is just wrong. You got to make it work. And yes, I'm going to tell you the spoiler. If you don't like spoilers, like I said before, please leave the video. It's pretty interesting how he ends it. It's kind of like Fight Club. If he hadn't missed and the bullet hadn't went through his cheek, he just offs himself. And Bruce Willis goes like Tyler Durden, but he goes too. So he kills himself to save the future. That was pretty good. The action was good. When the kid goes all Carrie spec in the cornfield, it's like Carrie meets Children of the Corn or something. When he goes all Carrie spec and blasts, and he's about to kill Bruce Willis and all that. Really good special effects. It was good directing too. I like that movie a lot. Dark Shadows. So it's funny because it's one of those things on the TV where you don't necessarily see the beginning of the movie. I saw Dark Shadows from HBO 3 times, but every single time it was the ending. So I watched the ending three freaking times. The ending was good. I saw the tail end of the shtick that they do where he's from centuries ago and then he's in the 1960s, so he doesn't understand what's being talked about. They kind of end that shtick though towards the end of the movie. You get less of the gimmick of him being out of time, and you get more of the conflict between him and this woman that basically wants him to fall in love with her. And he has sex with her and all this kind of stuff, and then he's like, forget you, which is kind of jacked up. That's the protagonist. The guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna bang her, but then, you know, thanks for all the fun, see you later. Pretty screwed up. But the ending was cool too. It turns out one of the characters was a werewolf. You get to see Michelle Pfeiffer with the shotgun, you know? It's like having Catwoman with the shotgun. You can't go wrong with that. You know, I love it too because she's like, hey, bitch, stay away from them. And then it zooms out. She's got the shotgun. I mean, I was waiting for it. Yo, she bitch, let's go. It was pretty cool. I need to see the whole movie. Let's see. Batman. Another Tim Burton. 2 Tim Burtons in a row. I don't know if I plan even doing that. That's kind of a funny coincidence. Jack Nicholson as a Joker. I mean, he's not better than Heath Ledger as the Joker, but you have to understand the cohort effect. My generation, I grew up with Jack Nicholson as the Joker, and I loved it. Nothing but good memories for that. So, really good. Good lines. You know, wait till they get a load of me. And the laughing was great. And very good movie. You know, it doesn't have the same realism as the Chris Nolan movies, but I think Tim Burton's Batman is really good. It doesn't stay as true to the comics. You know, Batman freaking kills people. He's got machine guns on his car, killing loads of criminals, you know. But other than the inaccuracies to the comic books, it's really good film. Tim Burton's a good filmmaker.